to them. The All-Seeing Guys. The All-Seeing Guys. With Greg and Joe.
Welcome to episode 171 of the All-Seeing Guys podcast with Greg and Joe. I, of course, am Greg.
Therefore, leaving it to be, I am Joe.
Leaving it with you, as if like Greg and Joe are just names on the table.
Leave it to me to be Joe Jackson.
Leave it to me to be Joe Jackson. I was a bit late, so I'm going to have to be Greg this week. I'll have to be Joe.
Yeah, there's decisions were made before I arrived.
I was a bit late.
Did you ever have that in school? Like there was like in like say like primary school where they gave out like toys at lunchtime. Was there like a toy that everyone fought over, or like a bit of equipment?
I mean, we didn't really have toys given to us at lunchtime.
We were given like bats and balls and stuff like that. But like and my mates used to get all the tennis rackets and play like army. But there was one particular tennis racket that I thought was the best. And always ran to the shed to get it, and then all of my, therefore making me the more elite member of the group. But then I would go on to be bullied for the remaining years of my time in education. So things took a strange.
It's interesting you say the question of do I remember being given stuff at break time? I do remember being. I have one memory from this place.
I'm talking like back in the day when they used to give you like milk.
Oh, no, I get it. I think this memory goes beyond then. I've always had this memory. I've never been able to shake it. It was when it must have been like nursery in Worcester Park. So before I even moved to Cheshunt. So I was definitely under 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I have this vivid memory of like being in like this playground outside area, not much smaller, very small outside area. And they were like not like toy bikes, not like pedal ones when you just kind of push around on.
Yeah.
And I think there was one like a fire engine, and I really wanted to go. And this ginger kid with freckles got in it, and I was like, "Oh, I want to have a go." And he was like, "Oh yeah, you go after me." I think he was my friend in this memory. Yeah. I think we were friends. And like he started going around, and I was waiting, and then eventually we got called back in. Break was over, and I never got to go on it. And I remember him like looking at me as the teacher blew the whistle to say break over. I remember him looking at me on this and just being like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm
damn.
really sorry, Greg. Like you didn't get go." And I remember being like, "Oh, you didn't even get it," running in upset. But it's just a weird memory that it's always been with me.
The fact that he actually showed like.
Oh no, he generally was sorry.
Sincerely sorry. That's why
it's a weird fucking memory. Yeah. That's why it's a weird memory. It's not like he was like, "Ha," and I'm like, "Oh," and I held on to this hate.
I was expecting you to like say like I looked at him and he looked at me like I was a piece of shit. Like
that would make the memory I've had more obvious to have. You know, just holding on to this hate.
That's the villain origins of fucking.
But
Greg.
I don't. It's not. It's. I just like. I don't know who he. I can picture him. I have no idea who he was or who he is now.
He's a fireman now.
But yeah. Thank God he made up his mind that day. But it's just a weird memory that I've never really spoken about or shared. But as soon as you said that, I was like, God, that memory that haunts me. I can mention that because that was happened. You know, being given stuff.
I like to think this is a safe place, Greg, where you can share these things that you've had buried away for many years.
Why did you bring that up anyway?
I can't remember, in all honesty.
Right.
Quite frankly, cannot remember. What were we talking about before this?
I think we just say hello. We're like 3 minutes into the podcast, aren't we?
I've just gone, hello. Hey, remember when...
If that, we're like only a few minutes in. I think we were just saying our names, you know, choosing that I take Greg and Joe off the table, blah, blah, blah. And then you were like, "Oh, did you ever get stuff outside a bat once? That was awesome."
I look forward to hearing back to this bit and realising...
Shit, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Or just like, fuck, man. How did I make that segue happen?
Right. This evening's beer I've cracked open for this podcast is Brave Noise Pale Ale.
Nice. What's that? Yeah?
Let's give it a go.
Is it brave?
Oh, it's nice.
Oh.
Fierce beer. Oh, Jesus, poured it all over my hand.
Fucking prick.
Fuck's sake. It is fierce. Fierce.
Sasha Fierce, is it?
Seriously,
It's the Beyonce alter ego of craft beers.
Be fierce beer.
I'm sticking to what I know best, which is the standard Jack Daniels.
When I drop Indiana off at nursery in the morning, 9 times out of 10 I take the bus rather than drive, for many reasons. The main reason being I actually enjoy the walk home. Yeah, like I like dropping her off. I like walking back, getting my coffee from Greg's.
Getting a Costa or a Greg's. Oh, of course,
yeah,
no,
Greg's.
you go.
There's literally nowhere else that is only Greg's. There's nowhere else to get a coffee from down there.
I'm sure it's all right.
And it's all right. Yeah, walk back. I like it, but I pass this house. There's like I walk through. I wouldn't say the rough part of Cheshunt. It's not rough. It used to be. It's not so rough now, but it's very much like the council house area of Cheshunt and stuff.
Right.
And it's quite funny. When you walk back at a certain time, you see all like the mums in their dressing gowns all sat on their doorsteps having their cigarettes in the morning. Oh yeah. And you go past them. They're all younger than me.
Putting the world to
they're all younger than me anyway. Yeah. They're all just like, oh yeah, backing up.
All of them
yeah.
are beefing with someone.
But I literally passed this house and their green recycling bin out the front, they have 2 of them, overflowing constantly with Coke bottles, like the big shared bottles of Coke, like actual full fat, the red label Cola. Yeah. Overflowing constant, every day, even bin day, constantly overflowing with Coca-Cola bottles, and the other one has about 6 empty JD bottles in it, like the big one, the one that you've got.
Yeah,
I don't see any other rubbish in there every time.
That would be my contributions to the recycling, but instead it may sound odd, but basically I don't like seeing all the empties, but also I'm too embarrassed to go and put them in the recycling bin that is in my mum's house and stuff. So like I take my empty bottles of JD out with me when I go for a walk, and I dump them in a public bin. Now, it's been drawn to my attention recently that I perhaps might be drinking a bit too much.
Okay.
I could easily retort by saying, for 5...
Is this brought to your attention by a family member?
This is brought, yeah. So basically, my mum yesterday.
The neighbours are like, the neighbours think I'm an alcoholic, Joe, because I keep finding JD. Oh no, I've been throwing them away now, Mum. Don't worry.
Yeah, my mum thinks I'm bordering on the edge of alcoholism. Is basically a discussion that was had yesterday, which was unfortunate to say the least. So that was an awkward day yesterday. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, it's.
Who gave me an alcoholic speech recently? Someone talked to me about my drinking recently. It wasn't Lizzie. Who the hell was it? And I was like, nah, I'm not an alcoholic. Like, Adam, what are you talking about?
When I got home, so obviously I saw you and Ed on Friday night.
Yep.
I was drinking a bottle of whiskey then. And when I got home, I went into my garage to smoke because it was really cold outside and I wanted some shelter. And I left my bag in there, and my mum found my bag and saw half a bottle of whiskey in there. And for some reason, she thought that when I said I was going out with you and Ed, she actually meant we were going out to a pub.
Right.
And from that assumption, she assumed that I was drinking at work. And I was just like, oh, this is fucking bad.
Assumptions, of course.
It was, so there was a lot of.
No, Mum, I did all that last night.
There was a lot of correcting yesterday.
I'm sure there usually is with assumptions.
Yeah, it was not great. It was.
No.
I really had to force home the fact that I'm not an alcoholic, but I will admit that I do drink too much.
I mean, I think we all do, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like. I've usually was pretty good at before Christmas. I'd managed to really knock on the head just drinking at home for the sake of drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, but all last week I definitely had beer with my dinner and in the evening, but only because like I literally bought that box of Amstels for New Year. But then I just happened to end up accumulate loads of brew dogs over that time, and I had some other beers and other people.
Christmas is like the peak time for like booze accumulation.
Yeah, so after New Year, I still had quite a few beers left in that bin. The beer bin I've got in the garden.
Yeah,
I mean, I literally had the beer bin. I mean, we all have beer bins in our gardens, right?
Yeah,
and because that was there, I was just having one every evening, a couple with dinner, then another one maybe, because they were there. But once they run out, well, I say once they run out, they haven't, because then I had my beer 52 delivery.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, you got like literally a subscription to booze.
But I did drop that down to every 2 months rather than every month.
It's
and I need to change that because I ended up giving half them to Ed because it's all stout.
Yeah.
And I can request not to get stout. I might ask for one stout.
I'd probably recommend making that request, in all honesty.
Yeah, I probably should. I'm sorry, I should have done it ages ago, but I keep talking about it and never do it.
But it's it's a strange thing. I don't know if it's just because of perhaps like it's a generational thing where drinking patterns are different. I mean, my drinking's always been a concern for this family, because like even when I was like before I moved out and came back, but when I was like living here and I was kind of I wasn't drinking at home, but I was going out a lot, and that was always a concern. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I love and respect my mum for like having the ability to say like, look, I am genuinely concerned, despite how awkward that was of a day to have and a conversation to have. But yeah, it's I don't know. I see it as a very standard thing. Again, like I'm not drinking like fuckloads. Like I would say I would probably have maybe like 2 or 3 Jack and Cokes in a night at home.
Yeah.
I'm not like doing...
So alcoholic is more when we're fine, if your mom was finding empty JD bottles hidden in cupboards, stashed in the garage,
like yesterday, yesterday I was thinking, well, now I've got to start hiding my booze, but that just makes me actually look like an alcoholic.
Way worse.
Like,
yeah, of course.
Makes it way worse. Now I'm
it does make it a lot worse. You shouldn't have to...
Fuck.
Clanking as you week, it's going out.
Yeah.
Clank, 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 clank.
It was so yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. We'll see how the year goes. I think
see how I turn out.
My unfortunate thing is that I've just got into this horrible habit of like after work having a drink. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like, I don't know.
Well, you got to think of it as the other way. We would usually go to the pub after work for a drink.
Yeah.
Like standard procedure. Like even if, especially when I was working at Hillfigure, it was very common for me if I wasn't going to the Coxwell beer, even when I lived with Lizzie's parents.
Yeah, I
would still usually 9 times out of 10 meet Ed or both you and Ed in Surbiton for beers between finishing work and going home to have dinner with Lizzie's family. Like, so it was quite a constant.
It was insanely common with especially
regular,
with us.
Yeah.
I think this was. I mean, as well, this was where we definitely started like. We definitely weren't going to the Cox as much, and like it was, I guess, because I was sort of like living in like sort of Villiers Road, or I was living when I was living in Tolworth. It's easier just to go there, and it was like, but yeah, it was. Yeah. We were like, all it took was someone just to say, "Do anyone fancy a pint after work?" And all of us were like, "Yeah, bang on!" Like,
yeah, 100%.
Absolutely,
yeah. And so like going home from work and having one isn't like too dissimilar. I find myself having maybe a more beer if I was like running out of weed, like last year or whatever, and I was running low, so I was rolling like maybe smaller zoots, I would probably have a beer with said zoot, thinking that makes it. No, this.
No, I think. See, I think that
I'll drink this, but really hit this suit and neck this beer.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one
and then I'll have a nice buzz afterwards.
I'm going to take one big toke, and then I'm going to inhale it, and I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to down that beer, and then I'm going to exhale, and then I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. on the patio.
Yeah, job well done.
Yeah, God, that was a good one, wasn't it? God.
Nailed it.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Nailed
man.
it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm an alcoholic because I'm not. As I said, like I'm not.
No.
Like even on my days off,
You're not an alcoholic.
No, yeah, I'm not. I'm not like drinking during the day on my days off. I'm like, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But it all depends.
It has made me sort of look at the amount that I do drink. So I think maybe I need to start cutting down a bit.
But it does also affect, for example, like Lizzie can turn to me and be like, "Oh, you've drunk, you're drinking quite a lot at the moment." And I'm like, "Am I?" I think she had one beer, but in the evening. But Lizzie doesn't drink. She has barely drunk for years now.
Yeah.
Like so.
Like every now and again, sort of thing.
If that, I think the last time Lizzie probably drank properly was, God, like the New Year's after Indiana was born. The last time we had done the Cox, if I remember correctly. I can't even think like she actually properly had a drink.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know the last time she properly had a drink.
I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it.
Was my old boss's wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
The less we say of that, the better.
Yeah.
That's not even an amusing story.
I literally went up to the bride at her wedding and said to her, I followed her into the toilets and said to her, "I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin your wedding," is what I said to her face. And she went, "Oh, okay. Why?" And I said, "I'm going to have to call an ambulance for my wife." And she's like, "Oh, well, the family doctor's here." So he went down and saw her.
That is phenomenal.
But I literally went up to I actually said that to the bride. I'm going to have to ruin your wedding by calling an ambulance.
I'm not going to say it's one of the less traditional things that people have said to me today, but I'm all for it.
I won't talk about that too much because that's one of the things.
No.
Don't tell anyone.
No.
And I literally realised. I realised just then that I didn't even told my parents that story.
No, you told me that story, and as I don't even remember laughing during it. Like it's not a fun story.
There were a couple of funny moments in hindsight.
It has some moments, but like even then, I was still just like, oh my god. This is how we raise numbers of listeners by we feed them something like that, but not tell them what it is, and they're just like, oh, that's gonna be like our Gavin and Stacey fishing trip.
Oh yeah,
like it's just undiscussed. It was just like,
and I don't even watch Gavin and Stacey. I get that reference.
I regret that I've watched 3 seasons of it now with my feelings towards James Corden.
Yeah, I mean when it came out, everyone didn't even hate James Corden then. I just didn't really care.
No fair dues.
But there now.
Anyway.
Do you know what? Slightly changing the subject. I only brought this up just because a minute ago I did a COVID test.
This is great. No, I feel like this is going to be one of them episodes where we just go and we just go for the fucking sake of it.
I've got stuff. Yeah. I still find it bizarre, touch wood, that I haven't caught COVID in any way, shape or form yet.
Same.
I find it really bizarre. And I'm probably having. I mean, I was convinced. So I had to go to Epsom. I didn't have to go, but I went to Epsom on Saturday.
I didn't have to go. I didn't have to.
Literally, the universe blinked onto my head.
It was my choice.
Get your ass to Epsom.
I made the decision myself.
Epsom is only down the road from me, but Indiana had a birthday party at the Rainbow Centre there that day.
Yeah.
So I drove. So the morning after we were at Ed's, next morning, I drove Lizzie and Indiana there. I was going to park up and just wait for them. But it was so crazy down there, I couldn't park. Eventually, so I was going to drive home, then I did find a parking space. A very exciting story for you guys. I parked the car. So I stayed in Epsom.
Was that reverse parking, Greg? Or
no, I drove forward in and then reversed out.
How conventional.
Yes. So I was like, well, I'll wait for them. They'll be about an hour or so. So I had a little mooch around on my own, around Epsom. Pretty good. Pretty okay.
It's all right.
That place. It's fucking dated to fuck that place. God, it's dated.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I mean,
when I say dated, I mean it's old, but I mean I went to the House of Fraser there or the Ashley Centre, and it is so it looks so old and dated. I'm convinced I'm gonna get 80s AIDS walking around,
just Eazy-E been spitting on everything.
But Lizzie worked there 25 years ago, and she said it was dated then, all these shops.
I will say this about Epsom: it's got Winchester vibes. But without the cathedral. Yeah,
it's a very weird place. But I did find a really awesome toy shop, and I got some awesome stuff there, so I was quite happy with that. But point of the story is, when they'd finished at the party, Indiana had some Christmas money left over, so they went back to this toy shop, and then she's like, "Oh, I really want a Happy Meal, blah blah blah." And I was like, "All right, we'll get you." Lizzie says yes. Mummy says you can have a Happy Meal. So we went past McDonald's and it was fucking it was like insane. There was like queues out the door. It was so busy. But it's mainly because most of them are Uber drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are queuing to get to the fucking machines you order on.
Yep.
And it was just fucking chaos in there. So I ordered her Happy Meal. I had to wait fucking so long for it, man. So long I had to wait.
I wish you, the viewer or listener, could see the face that Greg just pulled.
It was so long.
He is still very much pained by the queuing process of this.
I am. And it was so busy in there. But the thing is, it was so busy in there. And there were so many, like, just people that you could tell had been out all night and come in for their McDonald's and just fucked. And it was so packed, and people just pushing into me, breathing on me. One guy like coughed on the back of my neck, and I felt the impact of it, and was like, ugh. Like, never all that just carries extra weight now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, oh, that's disgusting, but now you're just like, you know, it's almost like we see the germs now, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm covered,
dirty bastard.
And I left there, and I said to Lizzie, I was like, convinced I must have got COVID in there now. I was like barged by so many. I've never had so much human contact as I have just then. I was like I was in a fucking mosh pit in the Cox.
Yeah.
Like I literally feel like I'd just been in a mosh pit. And I've done 2 tests since then and still negative. So we'll see. Maybe tomorrow it will show up. I'm convinced. I'm like, how have I not got it yet? I don't understand.
I said it.
How I've not got it yet.
I said it.
And I've been careful because of mum.
Yeah. Fair
Obviously
dues.
with mum and her immune system, I have been very careful. And because of Christmas, we were careful. But since then, I've been way less careful. And even when I was being careful, I wasn't being like neurotic. Like, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel I'm kind of like getting to the point now where I'm like, it's not going anywhere. We have to live with it. They should just say that now.
I think, yeah. I mean, by the fact that I think things like where they obviously say that the Omicron is more like a fucking flu.
It's a cold, isn't it?
Yeah, like best, that is right? Like, but I'm surprised by like not getting this, and I was pretty brazen during the times where we weren't having to wear masks on fucking public transport.
I was licking windows, chairs, people.
I was just going up to all the kids going to school and being like, spit in my mouth. Yeah. Which is awkward because I literally work right next door to their school. So it's
Are you still eating that? I'm chewing it. Oh, give it here, give it here.
Are you chewing gum?
Can I have that?
Give it to me.
Give it to me.
You got any under your seat? But like, yeah, I mean, when lockdown fucking restrictions like surpassed and everything, and like masks were really becoming just optional. I definitely stopped giving a shit, and even then I didn't get ill. Even like I didn't get anything. But the guys at work, no one at work, like bearing in mind that we opened
retail.
In a retail like DIY shop where we opened during the major lockdown.
Yeah.
Like no one. And
my brother fucking works in fucking
Marks and
M&S.
Spencer's. Yeah.
And all through it in multiple stores.
It's
through
utterly
COVID.
insane. Like it's
nothing.
I can't believe it. We've easily had like with staff like leaving during the year it's been open and stuff like that. I would say we've had maybe like 10, maybe 11 people working in that shop. Not a single case of COVID.
It's crazy, isn't it?
One girl hasn't even had her fucking vaccinations and she still hasn't got it.
Wow.
But she's a fucking idiot for not having her vaccinations.
Yeah.
But
that is crazy. So like, because I kind of just want them to. I'm now like the other night I had someone messaged and was like, oh, who the hell was I? Don't know. Someone messaged and was like, oh,
where's my book?
Bunch of us are going. Yeah, a bunch of us are going to. Well, basically, I was invited to like a party, like in a pub.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know. I've not been for a while. Like. I've not gone out like that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just play safe and stay in, blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, when does that stop?
Yeah, of course.
At what point? But not even just that, like, just chatting to Lizzie. The other day, Lizzie, I'm like, oh, I really want to go to London. But, like, I'm just under the impression that I would definitely get COVID if I go.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, how long does that last? Like, when does that, at what point do I just accept that is the risk and go, you know? And if it happens, it happens.
To be honest, my mum's been up to London several times. And again, she has like not caught anything. Do you want to go to London tomorrow?
Could do. Fuck, that's dangerous.
Just go to London tomorrow.
Could do.
Fuck it. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. It's just like when do we start like really saying like enough is enough? But again, like, what fucking control do we have? Like, I know they always say like fucking strength in numbers and shit, but like, look what we're fucking dealing with. We're just like a bunch of fucking cunts in a.
And I'm not talking like, anti-vaxxers that are like, having a go at people for wearing masks or not wearing masks. Ideally, you go ahead.
Sorry, I haven't had a single fucking time where I've had someone be like, "Hey, you've wearing a mask." And like, if they did, like, I ain't got the fucking time or energy.
No. Only on the internet, not in person.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man. Always. Like, I ain't got the time or energy to fucking deal with that. I just be like, shh. And if it persists, then that's when I'll just be like, all right, let me spit in your face.
I did.
That's my whole thing about COVID is just like, if you let me spit in your mouth, then everything, we'll see how we go from
because before you got to Ed's on Friday, that was a fucking banging fucking like that kebab place we went to.
Oh yeah, the
really
new one,
fucking good. Anyway, when we went to before you arrived, Ed had the news on, and it obviously has the COVID, and I'm like, why do they still? It's literally like the weather, but COVID.
Yeah.
Like a big picture of UK. Oh, 18,000 cases here, 132,000 cases here. And it's like, well, why? I mean, they should just, I'd love it. Maybe this sounds naive. Maybe people listening would be like, well, no, you can't do that. But in my world, it'd be great just to have them come out and be like, look, this is pretty much the flu now. It's not going anywhere.
But they're not going to do that.
It's not going anywhere. We have to live with this the rest of our lives. Wear a mask if you want. If you do wear a mask, don't have a go at people who don't wear masks, and people who don't wear masks, don't have a go at people that do wear masks. I know that would ever stop.
Yeah.
But just be like, we have to live with it and move forward. Everyone start living your lives again. But that won't happen. It will be, there's too many businesses now in COVID. The whole like getting tested before you go overseas and stuff. These are legit set up businesses now.
Yeah.
That don't want this to end because that is now their business model. Like.
I don't like saying this because it sounds really like zeitgeisty conspiracy, right? But like the unfortunate thing is that the media is politically powered.
Yeah.
There is unfortunately people that back the people that are in charge, so they're also involved in the media, and it's people need to stop paying attention to it. Like that's the thing, because it is like. Like the whole fucking thing, like there's that whole bit in, what is it, Bowling for Columbine, where he sits down with Marilyn Manson. Yeah, and Marilyn Manson takes you through this entire fucking like thing. It's just like, you turn on the TV, you look at the news, it's just fucking rapes and deaths and murder everywhere. Fuck, that's depressing. All right, cut to commercial. Oh God, you got to buy this spot cream, or fucking no girl's gonna fucking look at you or shit. And he just says it, and it's just like it's a campaign of fear. And that's all I've ever seen it as now. And it's just like, I can't, I still buy a newspaper every day. Like I still buy a copy of the newspaper more out of habit than anything.
Yeah.
And it is just like first 6 or 7 pages just get skipped past because it's just fucking politics and COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just boring and it's
COVID-tics.
It's just such fucking bollocks, man. It's safe to say that everyone is fucking pissed off with it now, but what can we do?
Pissed off, but there's still a lot of people that are still generally scared of it as well.
Yeah. But
I know my parents still in it, because my mum's not, my mum's in no way, out the woods just yet, and she's still got a low immune system. It would still be very bad if she got COVID, and if it didn't affect her, like, health-wise, it will interrupt her treatment plan, whereas my dad has very bad respiratory issues.
Yeah.
And it would probably hit him probably worse than mum if he did get it. I don't think we ever really discussed it as a family or really acknowledge it, but it probably would hit my dad more if he got it, But then those, when I have these thoughts of, I just keep living our lives, those things then pop in my head. And I'm like, fuck, maybe it's a selfish thing to think. Like,
no,
because
it's not.
That,
no, I don't think it is selfish.
But and for some people, probably live in absolute fear of it. I bet there's people that live in. I know there is that haven't left. God, my nan's barely left the house in 2 years. But she wouldn't even come over for Christmas.
You're definitely not selfish to think like, when the fuck is this going to be over? Because obviously you are taking into account the fucking conditions of your parents and people out like within your bubble, if you will. Like it's just It's been a rough 3 years.
Feels like 6.
Yeah.
But then again, there was also a moment where...
Sorry.
There were moments where I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I quite liked being at home a lot, you know? There were moments where even now, I still work from home.
Yeah.
Like if I have to get... If at any point in the future I have to get a job, it's going to be such a fucking shock to my system.
Yeah.
Because I've been literally working at home for over a year now. And when I say working at home, not like in and out of offices, like legit, my job doesn't have an office, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it will be a fucking shock to my system if I have to start going places again.
I mean, even in the peak of like the start of lockdown, when you were still at GeoPro, you were working from home and shit. Like, so I mean, but it is like, I mean, I remember for the short time that I did it before, like we got literally like put onto like lockdown pay and then redundancy. But like for that small like 2-month period, not even that, I think it was like a month.
Yeah.
And it was you just had to like separate yourself, like so I was like in a room that I would normally not be in, so it felt different.
So it felt different.
Oh god, I mean I still now, like, even though I don't have to, I still every day go out for a walk. I have done for the entire fucking time. It's just because I've just got used to it, and it's just fucking exercise, and it's not just sitting fucking playing Xbox or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I like my walk home in the morning from dropping in Jennifer nursery. If it's raining, I'll get the car, but if I can bus it, and that's another thing, bussing it every morning, touching all the things. I ran out. I have sanitizer now, but for like 3 days last week, I ran out of sanitizer and just kept forgetting to get a new one. And I got the bus all the time. Yeah, and just wasn't sanitizing, and still nothing. And then I, panicked and got some sanitizer because I went to see Mum today, so I got sanitizer and been back on it. But it's easy just to like forget.
It's crazy. It's so mad that like the nearest thing that we would have had to anything like this would have been when bird flu was about. I remember being at Jessop's and they had hand sanitizer on every single like till and stuff.
Yeah, and I remember in Bentals as well.
Me and this guy Wayne, if you're still listening, I'm sure if he might remember this, but we used to just put the sanitizer in our hands and then cup them and just like huff it on the and just get like burning alcohol going into your nose.
I remember there was one swine flu when that happened.
Yeah.
And I was working in the Bentall Centre, and I remember that it was a huge, we always all sanitizers delivered to the store. There was a big hoo-ha. It was like someone in like a shop on our level had it. They wouldn't say which shop it was, but somebody had swine flu, and it was a big panic, and I had to email head office and tell them, and it was crazy, man. Like if that felt more like
that was panic.
Like that felt like there was like a slow build-up with COVID. You heard the stories overseas. This was like, it's here. This is what's happening.
I remember when I was, because I was still at the travel place in like the corporate travel
Wimbledon.
Yeah, in Wimbledon, and obviously there was news coming through of it every now and again. And then as soon as someone said, "Oh, there's like a counter," someone's created a website that's like a COVID counter. And I remember going on it, and I just remembered receiving a message on Skype just from one of the like higher ups, just being like, "Yeah, do us a favour and close that down. We're trying not to freak everyone out." And I was like, "Okay."
Someone saw you with it.
Someone saw me on it. Like I had it up. Like I had the website up on the screen, and they were just like, "Yeah, do us a favour and close that down." And it's just like,
oh, someone saw it in the office, right? Okay.
Just like, chill out, man. Like,
chill out, Jesus. We don't want people to want to go home.
Yeah. We want people to still travel. Well, that's the problem. But yeah, no, because around the time where swine flu was around, I remember getting really, really ill with the flu. Like I was at work and I remember sneezing, and then just all of a sudden, just the life drained out of me. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm going to Google something about swine flu while you're talking.
So I remember just getting like horribly ill at work one day after like sneezing once, like to the point that they thought I was drunk. Like they thought I was drunk at work because I was just like, and I was just fucking really fucked up. So I had like a week where I've had like the worst flu, didn't eat, was sweating and shitting myself. It was just fucking awful.
Oh.
So we had to like call up the people and say like, have you had this? Have you had this? And I was like, no. And they're like, okay, well, you haven't got it. You've just got the flu. And I was like, cool. Not cool. I think I'm dying.
Yeah, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get it now, because this is what it feels like.
But then there was all this like sort of like after stuff. So I started to get clear of the flu, but at the same time, like when I swallowed, it hurt, but it was also hurting my ear.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
So we had to go, like one day I woke up, my ear was really fucking hurting. So like we had to go to this doctor's to get it checked. And they were just like, there's nothing, like it doesn't look infected or anything like that. And then I realised it was that when I was swallowing, it was hurting my throat and ear. So we went to the GP, and that's my first time I had tonsillitis. So I had flu 1 week, and then like the week after I had tonsillitis, and it was a bad fucking time, man.
Fucking hell, I remember, yeah.
Funnily enough, actually, today on my memories on Facebook, it was the episode 69, which is when you and me both had our
We're really sick.
I had tonsillitis
and we
for the second time.
And I read that's when we first mentioned Stephen the dog.
It is, yeah. That was the other thing.
Which we talked about the other night, right?
It's all coming together, Greg. But yeah, you'd had the horrific trip to hospital because of your you had vicious headaches and were fucking
that was
vomiting.
all to do with my tooth, wasn't it? Yeah, my tooth.
And I had tonsillitis. So yeah.
I just got up here. A look back at swine flu. 8 facts about the world's last pandemic in 2009. Now, this article, interestingly enough, came out Thursday, March the 12th, 2020.
Oh, really?
So, right at the start of COVID for UK, right?
Yeah. A
And
distraction.
here we go. The World WHO Organization on March the 11th, the day before this article, declared COVID outbreak a pandemic. Okay, that's the first one in 11 years.
Yeah.
Swine flu was 2009, and that was also an official pandemic. But you don't think pandemic, but you don't think about it being a pandemic, really, do you?
No.
God, almost not my COVID. Just
Do you?
whoa!
I'm going to sample
Sorry.
that. That's going to be...
I literally kicked the wire and pulled my mic off. I caught it.
I'm going to require you to edit this and send it to me immediately so I can sample that. Do you?
The virus it first appeared in America in April 2009. The virus quickly spread globally, primarily affecting children and adults under 65, who declared swine flu outbreak a pandemic on the 11th of June 2009.
But it wasn't to the level of this.
So between April the 12th, 2009 and April the 10th, 2010, they estimate swine flu caused 60.8 million illnesses and 273,304 hospitalizations and 12,469 deaths in the US.
Damn.
So, and at this point, globally, an estimated 151,700,000 to 575. That's gonna be thousands, surely. 151,700 to 5,075,400 people died from swine flu in the first year. So big numbers died.
Yeah.
But at this point, they have got COVID numbers here, but this was literally the first day of it, so it's very low.
Yeah.
But it was a pan. I remember a woman coming into Tommy Hilfiger when I worked there, and me and Raw Hall were serving her, and she was really nice. She was a bit flirty, so we were like, "Oh, okay, have a little chat with her." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, this is my first day out. I've had swine flu." And we were both like, "All right," and step back.
Yeah, it's the same response as she said on one day release.
She's like, "I had it really bad." To the point, she's like, I literally was in the spare room and my family gaffer taped the edges of the doors. So
my God.
And she's like, I stayed in there with a pack of adult nappies because I couldn't even go to toilet and just shit myself. And we were like, oh.
I mean, that's a lot.
Anyway, here you go. Here's your socks. Have a nice day.
Yeah, that's a lot of information to divulge to a stranger.
Very quickly as well.
Yeah.
It all came around very quickly.
I do, I definitely do remember pooping my pants during that time. Only once, mind, but once was enough.
Once, mind. I am once mind. Poo my pants all the time.
Once mind.
Not all the time.
No.
I've told you Indiana keeps saying that. It really winds me up.
What's that?
Just one time she knocked on the door with Lizzie. and I couldn't open the door because I was having a poo just once. And she's like, Daddy's always pooing. She tells people, Daddy's always pooing. We can never come in the front door because he's always pooing. That's not true, Indiana. Stop saying that to people.
It's better than talking about dicks.
I'm not always pooing. That is better. I agree.
Have you seen Daddy's cock? It's like a tube of tennis balls.
An empty tube of tennis balls. Exactly. Right. Well,
I've been watching this stupid like online show. It keep popping up on TikTok, so I investigated it. It's called like Letterkenny, and it's about like Canadian like farmers, but they all just sit around and fucking talk shit in like just like it's I don't know. It's like it's a weird show, man. Like. But it has some funny moments, and there's one particular video. It's like, I have an issue I'd like to discuss, and they're like, please partake. And he does saying just like, I saw Stuart's dong the other day, and they're just like, well, what was it like? And he's just like, goddamn thing there was hanging like a tube of tennis balls. And I was like, that's fucking great. Haven't heard that one. They also said, what else did they use? They also said, oh yeah, it looked like a deflated American football.
Oh.
Not a great description, but a tube of tennis balls is better.
Right, I've moved on to the neck oil now. That's down. I'm on to the neck oil.
Oh, the classic. What did that cost you? £7?
No, £2 can from Waitrose.
I've been seeing there's some sort of unless it's already been on. I think the BBC are doing a documentary about Brewdog.
Oh, what? And the toxic work environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nasty, innit? I probably won't watch it.
No. I mean, their damage has already been done with them. I think, in all honesty.
Oh, 100% for sure. It won't change though.
No,
they'll be fine.
No, they'll still proceed to be a business, and they'll probably still have shitty work ethics.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I try to like not think about that when I buy that one Brewdog beer. I mean,
it's like listening to R. Kelly. You know, it's just like it's hard to do without thinking, wow, that guy pisses on kids.
Yeah, and there's probably
and I love Trapped in the Closet.
Loads. You love pissing on kids.
No, I said I love Trapped in the Closet.
Loads of companies that are probably even worse than Brewdog you don't even know about yet.
Yeah,
you just got to wait for them to come out. But I worked for a company where I found it quite a toxic work environment, and it really, really did some long-term damage on me mentally.
It affects you, man. Yeah.
Really, long-term mentally affected me working in this toxic work environment. So I know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't read that stuff lightly. I know some people are like, oh, fucking just fucking grow up, fucking
grow
get
up
to work. It is what it is, yeah, fucking. But there is a toxic work environment that can really do some fucking damage to you mentally and confident-wise. So I do get it, and I do feel bad. But maybe I will watch the documentary and make up my own mind.
Maybe
I will watch it.
It'll be I don't know. Maybe it'll be therapeutic for you.
Yeah, maybe. Or I'll be drinking a Brewdog.
Drinking
the anger and pain.
These bastards.
I've been watching, I know I've brought this up before, but I've come across another really fun ghost hunting YouTube channel.
Oh, excellent.
Called Overnight. And it's fucking... I've watched so many. I'm not saying I believe all this at all. It's 90% entertaining. 10% does freak me out.
Sure.
But they're an American... ghost hunting team from obviously from America.
Of course.
The main guy has a bit of a weird lisp, which makes me laugh a bit in the voiceovers. I quite like that. But they did a series recently where they came to England.
Oh, really?
And did all the big England. They did a tour. It's still recording, Joe.
Oh, thank you.
I can see Joe checking his mic. I can see the red light still on. They came to England and they checked all the. You checked your mic. They investigated all the most haunted, famous haunted spots in England. They had 10 days and they did Ireland and England, and they fucking got loads in. They did loads, and they stayed in the Enfield Poltergeist house. Stayed in there. Big places, man. They went and stayed.
Yeah.
And there's a guy from Preston who does a channel called Exploring with Fighters. And he wasn't really a paranormal channel. He's more just goes and looks at decaying buildings.
Did you say did you say what was that last one called?
Exploring with Fighters. I don't know why.
He's got a bunch of boxers from the local gym.
I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with fighting. He's a Preston boy. They're Preston-based, this guy.
Oh.
Anyway,
maybe Casey knows them.
Maybe, I
assume,
think that.
But in my head, Preston has like 5,000 people living there. But like, it's
true.
bigger than that.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because when this American channel comes over overnight, and they get this guy, his name's Dan from this Exploring with Fighters. He joins them for the UK. He's not a paranormal channel. He's just abandoned buildings, but he comes along, so he gets freaked out quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Americans get freaked out because America has no fucking history, so it blows their mind that they're going to places in England that's like 1,000 years old, and they can't really get their head round it.
Oh, what?
You know, and they show up and they've got all their gadgets and they all go off and stuff. But they go to the Hellfire Caves, the Hellfire clubs in Ireland. But there's caves and they've got catacombs.
Catacombs,
Under London, the Hellfire ones.
Wow.
And you can do tours of them and stuff, and apparently they're quite fun. And the guy who like looks after it is like, oh yeah, this is like full on. Whatever you've experienced, you're gonna have it more here. And they fucking do, man. Like they've got all their beepy things, and they're like, oh, if you're here, beep, and it beeps. But then it gets to the point where this guy's like, you know, there's this locked gate. That's like the gate to hell in these tombs, and he's like, "Oh, we don't know anyone else in here." But this guy's like, "Oh, if you want me to come in there, I'll let you possess me. Let me know you want. Turn the light on if you want me to." And the flashlight turns on. A lot of that.
No way.
And this fucking Dan guy from that Explorers Exploring with Fighters is just like, I don't know if I signed up for this guy. He's like, he's really freaking out. I don't know. We should do this, man. I don't know. We should be doing this
along to punch Ghost.
And because they keep cutting like the night vision, you can literally see him shitting himself. Really good. What I actually all the England ones, I really fucking enjoyed. Really enjoyed them. And since they've finished, I think there's one left still to come out. This guy Dan's gone back to fighting with Exploring with Fighters, his channel, and now I watched his like first video since he did these ones. So fucking embarrassing. He's like, I never used to investigate the paranormal or believe it, but recently, with all I've experienced, I've suddenly got this no fear attitude towards a paranormal. I'm just trying to figure out if it's a gift or a curse. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But I'm literally like, when Lizzie goes to bed, if I'll play Resident Evil for a bit, and then I'll watch one of these and really freak myself out sometimes, because it's like 1 a.m. It's pitch black. I'm sat on the sofa and I'm like just listening to somebody doing the voice thing, going, "Are you here?" And it says stuff, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Fucking looking around the pitch
I quite
black,
like being
myself
freaked out in the evening. It's quite good.
It was good. I know what I'm signing up for when I go to that channel and start watching videos at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But if you guys are into that, I recommend these UK visits on this YouTube channel overnight. Or if you're into that stuff, it's definitely stuff. Enough happens to keep me entertained. Not necessarily convinced, but enough happens to keep me entertained that, you know, they're interacting with ghosts or whatnot. Or demons.
I remember actually a bunch of these like abandoned TikToks came up, and it's like, again, it's just obviously someone's taken the YouTube video and chopped it up into 3 minutes or whatever. And there's a particular guy, and it's not so much abandoned places, but he does go to like areas of the world that you probably wouldn't like go out of your way to visit. So he'll go to like fucking Syria, and he'll go like to the like Russia and places like the arse end of Russia.
Yeah.
And I think there's one, I don't know, I can't exactly say what particular countries he is in, but he's visiting like this he's walking into an abandoned building, and like there's a doorway, and then like you walk in, and then literally right to the right is just a random room. And he walks in, and immediately all he hears is just a guy shitting into the ground, but it's just like a proper diarrhea fart shit. And he's just like, so he walks in, and all he hears is just, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like, and he was like, "Oh my god, that man taking a shit just scared the shit out of me." And this guy is just talking in like whatever language, just like, like, oh man, it was good, so good.
Oh man,
I desperately tried to find it on my liked TikTok videos, but I couldn't see it on there. So
Well, the next time it pops up, send it my way. It is annoying when you see. I do it all the time on TikTok where I see a video. I'm like, oh, that was great. I want to watch that again. But I've waited too long and it's refreshed. And I'm like, no, it's gone. Did I haven't got a fucking clue who they are.
Every time lose it.
Like,
I wonder if I sent it to someone.
They are.
I think I might have sent it to someone. Hang on. If I can find this. Just keep the crowd busy. Work the crowd, Greg. Work the crowd.
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe we should probably go. It's like gearing up into going to Geezedrop, seeing as we're almost an hour in now.
I think
we'll be wrapping up with Geezedrop this episode.
It's been quite the random journey.
Yeah, it has been quite the random journey. But I quite like that. I'm all for random journeys and discuss. I do wonder if, as listeners, you're a bit like, they haven't really talked about anything, or do you guys prefer it and we just fucking shoot the shit? I don't know.
Hey, here's an idea. If you want us to talk about something, send it to us.
Oh yeah. If you want a well thought out, well structured and planned episode, fucking plan it and send it to us then.
Do your own fucking podcast.
Send us your podcast prep and we'll do it. That'd be a good pod.
Oh yeah, readers requests. We'll do a reader's request, listener's request. Talk about this.
There was in the car with my dad earlier. The radio was on, and there was an advert, or they were talking about a podcast on there, and it had a really ridiculous name. It was like blah blah blah's new podcast. It was like the angriest women podcast with like, I think it's talked about angry women.
I'd
might have to check that out.
I'd go on that.
The angriest women podcast by a man with Joe Jackson.
This is I'm just going to just throw this in here right now as one of my favourite TikToks ever.
Hold on a minute. Ooh. I can't even see anything. Oh.
Just
what was even happening?
It was a bunch of guys in the audience of a MMA fight. And the guy stands up behind them and just shouts, "Grab his dick and twist it!"
Because the way you were holding it, I couldn't see anyone. Just like colours.
Sorry. It was
I was
more
like, what is it? My camera wouldn't focus on it.
Definitely an audio
one.
More than
Right, let's go into Geezedrops. We hear snippets over a conversation heard by you, us, and you send them in, and we read them out of our contents, and we laugh at them because people's conversations.
That's the way it
funny.
works.
Having a listen.
I don't have a huge amount of Geezedrops, but they're all ones.
I got nothing.
Two of them I heard myself.
Oh.
This one, I enjoyed this one. You remember last time we were here? Hold on a minute. Do you remember last time we were here? My autocorrect spelt it wrong. Let me just read it again. This is a woman talking to her husband, I think. You remember last time we were here? Someone left a stick on here, didn't they? A stick. Which, that's okay, that's an okay comment.
A stick?
We were on an escalator. We were on an escalator at the time in House of Fraser. We were in House of Fraser on an escalator, and the woman in front of me turned to her husband and went, "Do you remember last time we were here? Someone left a stick here, didn't they? A stick." I was just like, what the fuck is she going on about?
That's how dated. That's how dated
a weird
Epsom
thing
is.
to hear when you're on an
a
escalator as well.
We just jammed a stick into the steps.
Couldn't
the
believe,
machines are
couldn't
taking
believe
over.
It. Someone left a stick. This was a great interaction I heard between a father and son in the toy shop in Epsom. This kid is like, "That's the same scooter." And the dad's like, I was 1 hour over listening, writing it down. And the dad's like, "Oh, no, it looks similar, but it's not the same." And the kid's like, "It looks exactly the same as mine, Dad. Are you sure Santa made mine?" And he's like, no, he definitely did. Maybe he just based this on it. He based it. And the kid, flat out, was just like, "Are you sure you didn't buy it here?" "No, Santa made it." And I was like, man, this dad was drowning, man. This kid sussed him. I imagine, because I was telling Lizzie about this, and she's like, "Wow, what a smart kid." And I'm like, yeah, but is smart kid or dumb dad? Was the dad dumb like, dad. "Oh, Santa made this scooter"?
Dumb dad.
Santa made this scooter. You won't find it anywhere else, and goes into a fucking toy shop around the corner that you probably bought it from. Oh, look, there's your scooter.
Okay.
I mean, they're a bit similar to your scooter.
Hang on, this could be a combination of dumb dad and dumb kid. If he's looking through the Argos
Potentially
catalogue,
smart kid.
this kid is looking through the Argos catalogue and looking at toys. Does he think they are just?
I mean, I don't
him?
think kids look through the Argos catalogue anymore, Joe.
But how are they finding out about these
2022.
fucking toys?
Not 1982, because they were in a toy
you.
shop.
So like, but like,
Argos
even if you
catalogue.
take a kid, even if you take a kid into a toy shop and he sees something, so say he sees like a scooter, there's still going to be like 3 boxed up scooters on the shelf.
Yeah, but I don't know. We don't know. The kid might have just been like, "I want a nondescript scooter for Christmas," and the dad's been like,
dad
"Oh, Santa will make it in his workshop for you."
No, they'll fuck off then. The dad should have explained mass production to his child.
Yeah, we made a point of Indiana of being like, one of these presents is from Santa.
Oh, that's good.
We bought you the fucking rest. Make sure you know that we bought you the rest because
that's a good one though.
Like,
that's really
like,
good.
We want her to know. Like, we want her. You know, Lizzie plays it up a bit. Oh, we got your list from Santa, and we asked him what he hadn't got you, and we got the rest. You know, like plays it up like that. But it's also a case of like, and also, you know, you don't want the whole. Oh, if you're good, Santa will give you presents, because poor families can't. So what? That kid just assumes he's an arsehole?
You don't want to depend on that fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we have a geese drop here from Marin. She sent me this, I think, last
Hello,
night.
Marin.
It says,
hello.
It says,
oh, wait. I'd just like to verbally apologise for ruining Spider-Man for Marin. I can only
thank God he
apologise.
verbally apologised.
I know, yeah. The only other thing I can do
physically, fuck.
The only other thing I can do to say how sorry I am is to put on a Spider-Man costume and sing that song that Chad Kroger released for the Spider-Man film. Outside your house, wherever you live, whilst holding a framed photo
or he could
of
Or he just give you episode 100 artwork like we said we would do.
Yeah, probably
2 years ago.
You know what? Tomorrow
I have posted stickers since. I've definitely posted stickers to her.
It's not what we offered though, Greg. It's not what we offered.
Sorry?
It's not what we offered.
No, it's not what we offered. Not what we offered, but I did offer it. I did send them.
Then I tomorrow will be going out and looking for a frame.
Yes, sorry, Marin. I obviously was trying to avoid the spoilers in that section, and I'd seen the fucking film. You know, like.
I do not understand the importance of spoilers. So
I don't understand.
So I can only apologise.
I also want to say on a separate note, and I'll probably get a lot of stick for this. I last night watched Marvel's Eternals, which everyone slags off, and I've been told by many people.
What's that about? What's the Eternals
not to bother.
About?
A group of people called the Eternals that kind of like protect planets from weird creatures. I watched it last night.
Bit samey.
Fucking loved it. No, I loved it. That's what I'm saying. I loved it. Like I literally loved it.
Is this the one with the?
It's the most undifferent Marvel film I've probably seen.
Is this the one with the Indian guy?
It has 2 Indian guys. It has an Indian guy in it, yeah.
And one who was in like Portlandia. Do you remember he was in that sketch in Portlandia where the couple go to get approval for a party?
Yes. Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Really, generally, thought it was. Really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favourite Marvel films. Not my favourite, one of. Because it was different. And everyone's like, oh, it's too slow, it's too this, it's too... I think because, you know, when you get told something's so bad, you just expect it to be the worst thing you've ever seen. And then when it's not, it's a pleasant surprise. So maybe if I hadn't
don't trust people's
heard
opinions.
all the... Yeah, and if I hadn't heard all the negative stuff beforehand, I probably would have watched it and been like, oh, this is boring as shit. Because I wasn't thinking that way, I left it being like, wow, really enjoyed that. Like, I've been thinking about it all day. Like, generally enjoyed it. So I'm saying I might get stick for saying I liked it. Is what I was getting at there.
Greg, who cares?
No, it's true. Yeah, if you like it, you like something. You can't.
Yeah,
help
fuck
can
it.
you?
That's
I
it.
liked
Doesn't matter. If you
I
enjoy
liked
it,
I'm gonna watch.
Why should it matter?
I've got the first 3 episodes of that Peacemaker show to watch this evening, and I'm really looking forward to it because James Gunn's The Suicide Squad that came out last year was hands down one of my favourite films of the year. Like, hands down. It was so fucking funny and violent and gory and just insane. I loved it.
Like Watchmen,
nothing like the first, nothing like the original. Well, it's comedy. It's not. Well, it's definitely gory in terms of like a lot of. Yeah, it's pretty gory actually. It's pretty violent. Suicide Squad.
I imagine it's pretty gory.
It's very funny, very funny. But I've got that they've done like a series that follows one of the characters after John Cena's character, and we all know how much he fucking loved playing that character. He's in that outfit all the fucking time. In all his interviews, he's sex with his wife in that his fucking character.
Yeah, he gets a horn. He gets the horn for that outfit.
He does, yeah.
I recently found out, or I recently watched the trailer because there's going to be a Kanye West documentary that's coming to Netflix. That is 20 years in the making. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
It's going to be a sad end, isn't it?
I know that Kanye West is not one of the most likable people in the world, but
20 fucking years ago, we're talking about him quite Kanye, interesting. Man.
He was, I mean, we're talking about literally, where are we at? Yeah, 2000, he literally had his car accident.
Yeah, and changed everything.
Yeah.
Man went through the wire.
When I did that. Somebody should have still got a meal on this deal.
Man went through the wire was a fucking amazing fucking producer. Still is, I'm sure still is. Amazing producer, incredible fucking albums.
He's just done. He just released a song with The Game that he also produced, but he's got a line on it about beating the shit out of Pete Davidson. And it's just like, come on, man!
That's funny.
Like you are literally 45.
It's also ridiculous. It's also ridiculous.
It is.
You guys broke up, then you bought a mansion across the road, then you bought a mansion across the road.
The line,
that's weird.
The line is something like, God saved me from this car crash so I could fucking wake up and beat Pete Davidson's ass, and it's just like, come on, man! Like, you're a dad. Like,
Yeah. You're also a bit nuts now. You were back then. Now you're just a bit bizarre, and your name's Yee and fucking
production-wise, I think he's fucking incredible. I don't like the word genius being used in music.
Tortured people are usually very talented musically.
My Twisted Dark Fantasy is literally one of my top 5 favorite albums.
Incredible fucking album.
It's so good. I remember
incredible fucking album.
Me and Natty got so fucking addicted to that album. But yeah, I would very much like to see, because I've followed a fair bit of I've seen documentaries of his before, and they're very, very interesting. And there's footage of him in the studio, which I find really really, really interesting as to how he breaks down beats. He doesn't use Pro Tools and a screen in front. He's literally just got a keyboard that can be put zip drives into, and it's fucking, that's how he does it. And it's you know what, fair fucking dues, man.
Yeah, we'll see how we get. We'll see how he gets on. We gave up every year. We're like Kanye West is going to go this year. He's the crazy wild card. So I respect him for that.
He's the wild card, bitches.
Right, I'm gonna read Marin's Geezedrop now. No, I'm not.
I was going to say any celebrity death predictions for this year, Greg?
No, I don't like making them anymore. I think COVID ruined it.
It doesn't feel right.
We tried to do it last year.
COVID ruined that.
Do you remember last year we sat down to do the celebrity death list, and it was just bleak.
Doesn't feel good
because there was so many.
No,
and I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to acknowledge Betty White passing.
Oh yeah, that was a dark.
Damn it! I just did. Right, here is Marin's.
We got massively sidetracked from Marin's Geezedrop. Sorry.
Marin's, right, I just padded out Geezedrop a bit more. Marin's Geezedrop is the last one I got. We're in an outside bar down by the sea. The seats are battery-packed, powered, heated seats.
Oh,
hello. The bartender came over to check on our heat sources, and he said, "Oh, yours is empty." And Marin's friend said, "Oh, it sucks when that happens." I'm not quite sure what that meant. Oh, yours is empty. Oh, it sucks when that happens. I wonder what they were looking at. Is he like looking under a seat? I imagine he comes and like looks under a seat as if he's like looking under her ass and just like, oh, yours is empty. Oh, I hate it when that happens. It sucks when that happens. Marin, can you confirm? Did the bartender lean down towards the arse area of the seat?
That's great.
See,
this is what happens. This is what happens when you leave the house and go places. You hear geezedrops.
It's true. It is true. Look at me. I went to Epsom the other day and I heard geezedrops.
There you go.
So, it can happen.
I've got to go out. I've got to go
wait,
somewhere.
wait! I saw this. I saw this today, and it outraged me. I took a picture. It outraged me. You tell me, Joe, what you think about this. You tell me, Joe. What do you think about this?
Is it a sign that says no shirt, no socks, no?
No. Lilt have changed their font.
Oh!
And I was very fortunate to find two cans side by side, one old, one new.
No.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Lilt have changed their font to make it more cool and trendy, I guess, but it looks. It doesn't have it. It doesn't have the feel. It doesn't have that tropical feel.
It doesn't. I look at that. It
looks like it's spelt wrong.
Whenever I see a can of Lilt in a shop, I always say to myself, "Oh man, it's total gridlock," because of the old adverts where they're just like, "You are 43 minutes late."
Here comes the Lilt Man.
The new Lilt can does not make me do that. It goes like, "Oh, it's a can of Lilt."
No. It looks cheap.
It doesn't make me do a Caribbean voice at all.
No, exactly. It doesn't make me racist in the slightest.
No, it doesn't make me
Excuse me, I have a complaint. The new Lilt font doesn't make me think racist thoughts.
The new Lilt font doesn't make me culturally inappropriate. That's the episode title. Culturally inappropriate fonts. Leave it right to the last. Leave it right to the last 3 minutes of the fucking episode.
How are you going to even draw that? Is it just one of us holding the normal can of Lilt smiling, the other one holding the new can of Lilt unhappy?
It'll be us dressed as cans of Lilt.
It'll be us dressed as those big black women that sit on the back of the fucking.
I can't draw that.
The Lilt float.
I can't draw that.
The Lilt float. Do you remember that? Here comes the Lilt Man.
I remember the one they filmed in Waterloo Station where they got random train passengers or random people at Waterloo to do a conga line with them.
Wow. I think I remember that, actually. Yes. Well, I'd say that brings us towards the end of the episode, guys, on that bombshell of Lilt font changing.
This is some sort of episode.
Lilt font sounds like a name, doesn't it? Mrs. Lilt font. I've got your paper here.
I feel like some sort of episode is a better title for this.
What?
It's just some sort of episode.
I think the title should just be like, should I be this angry about Lilt changing its font?
It's going to be a picture of you holding cans of Lilt.
If I'm
holding 2 cans of
really
Lilt.
really long title. If I'm so angry about Lilt changing their font, am I the one with the problem? Is there deeper problem here?
I think I've got it. I think I'm going to need you to send me the picture that you just showed me, and then I'm going to cut it, and it's going to be you just holding 2 different pieces of paper in front of me with the Lilt cans on it, and just me just
furious. There you go. So
people could people could then see the Lilt can that I'm angry about. Not angry. I don't feel anything about it.
I sent it to the group as well. I found it so fucking funny. That fucking aftershave in Poundland that I saw.
What was it? Kick Blaster?
Where the fuck was it? I sent it to the other group as well. Kick Blaster. So good. Kick Blaster for men. It's so good.
I don't know what that is.
It's aftershave. It's aftershave.
I fucking know. What is it? I've forgotten already.
Kick Blaster. It's so good. Oh, that's a lovely smell. What are you wearing?
No, that was it.
Wearing some Kick Blaster.
That was it. Could you imagine the advert for it? What would be just someone kicking ghetto blasters? Kick Blaster.
Yeah.
And then just...
I don't even know what the advert would be for that. It's insane.
I tell you what, Greg, let's go and film... Tomorrow, let's go and film the advert for Kick Blaster aftershave.
Kick Blaster. There was also a there was another fragrance there in men's fragrance called like Endless Twilight.
That's so shit. I think we should definitely have a competition as to who could come up with the worst fragrance title.
Sausage is definitely the worst. I know it's a joke on the sausage, but sausage has to be the worst name
it's up there. Yeah.
for a fucking fragrance. We had to come up with a fragrance a fragrance in media studies, and mine was called Lust, I think. Very, very standard. But this was like 20 years ago. And I remember the drawing I did for the poster was a man with like two women either side of him, kind of holding the bottle, being like, what can I say?
Why was he crying,
I have women
Greg?
around me all the time. Sorry?
Stop this! I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah. Damn my lust.
God damn this hedonistic life this aftershave has brought me.
Right, let's try and end again.
Well,
right, we're going to bring it to an end. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope that was a good episode, guys. Again, we didn't really do anything we had prepped apart from Geezedroping and just spoke again. But I guess
it's really hard to follow up. It's really hard to follow up an episode where we talked about Ghostbusters and ruined 2 other movies for people. So
exactly. So we're just trying not to ruin anything apart from people's lives and brains by talking our shit. But yeah, everyone, as always, thanks for listening. It still blows my mind people listen and seem to enjoy it. Mental. You're all nuts.
Does anyone want to be a guest anytime soon? Because we haven't had a guest in a long time.
Does anyone want to take it? Anyone want to host it for us? Me and Joe
does
will be
anyone want
guests.
to do this? We've been doing this for like 7 years or something. Come on.
Come on. Jesus.
Get back.
As always, thanks for listening, everyone. I have no idea what this episode's going to be called. Well, I have no idea now. We discussed it, so it might be Lilt font based. We'll find out. I'll be as surprised as you when this episode drops. That's what we went with. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Marvellous as always. It's been a lovely Sunday evening.
Yeah, thank you
Joe, thank you for joining me
for another bi-weekly episode of the All Seeing Guys.
Yeah, 100%. And we will be back in a couple of weeks with some more bullshit to discuss.
And then we'll be back in 2 more bisexual weeks. And
let's see if either me or Joe toss. I'm about to say toss. I meant test. Test positive between now and then.
I can guarantee you within the next 2 weeks there will be tossing.
Part of me wanted to be like, I hope you guys are doing well, Tree, with your COVID lock.
Yes. Let's raise
by
that.
the time this episode comes out,
She'll be out.
It'll be long gone. It'll be a distant memory.
Yeah, I hope the isolation went well, Tree. Yeah, that's what more do you want?
I hope the isolation went well and you're all healthy and okay.
All the best.
Joe tried to be nice and sincere there, but I started drinking my drink, so I couldn't jump in and help him. So Joe was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm being too sincere. Hope you had a nice isolation. Happy isolation card."
I don't do well with emotions, all right? Chill out.
None of us do. We're like, mid to late 30s men.
Yeah, this is true.
It is what it is, Joe.
Yeah.
Emotions are, if you asked me, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I might have been like, emotions are gay. But now I wouldn't, because it's homophobic and it's in bad taste. Yeah. Now I would just say, emotions, what are they about? I'd go more like the stand-up comedian route with it.
I thought you were doing a bit, in all honesty. I thought this entire bit was
how about those emotions,
You need to do like Seinfeld. Oh, what's the deal with emotions?
I was picturing Seinfeld in my head. What's the deal with emotions? That obviously isn't Seinfeld. Anyway, that's why we're finishing the episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week. I've been Greg. What about emotions, Armstrong?
And I've been Joe, dead inside Jackson.
Always. I'm sure he's done that one before. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck, sorry.
End it.
The All Seeing Guys podcast is part of Podnose, the UK's leading independent entertainment podcasting network. For episode archives of the All Seeing Guys and all of the shows on the network, visit us at www.podnose.com. You can also follow us on Twitter via @podnose or send us an email via admin@podnose.com.